Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the channel. This is Mr. R, and today we are going to test out something quite extravagant here inside of Black Ops 6 Zombies. And honestly, folks, it's shocking that this hasn't been patched out yet. So if you're going to try this, I suggest that you do it like immediately, because this will get patched out of the game in no time flat. This will be gone before you know it. So this is a glitch. First of all, I will start out by saying that this is a glitch, and I have done some glitches in the past, but I try not to do glitches as much as possible, but this is just too fun to say no to, right? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to come in here, and you're going to select your melee weapon, go to build options, and then make a duplicate of your melee weapon, and then you need to equip that duplicate to your melee slot. Then you're going to want to come over to multiplayer, jump into your weapons, okay, into your loadouts here, and you're going to want to go into a class that you have set up and go ahead and make a build for whatever weapon you want. In my experience trying out this glitch, you can only have 5 attachments, so make sure you have whatever attachments you want, the exact attachments that you want on your weapon, or you're not going to be able to have any attachments at all. You want to make sure that you have the 5 attachments that you want on that weapon for sure. Now, once you've got a weapon sorted out and you've got a class set up, what you want to do is you want to come into your knife slot and you want to delete the duplicate that you just made. Okay, so first things first, we're going to delete that duplicate knife that we just made. Then we're going to come back into the class that we just created, and we're going to go to build options and duplicate that and equip it. And once you go back into zombies, you'll see that that duplicate weapon that you made is actually in the melee slot in your loadout. So I do want to test 2 things with this. So first of all, the minor augment that you're going to want is strength training, which means that your punch can one-hit kill enemies for more rounds. And I believe that's going to make you deal extra damage through melee Macchiato. And I'm going to set up the vampiric extraction augment for the major augment, which says melee attacks heal a small amount of your health. I'm hoping that that means that all of the shots that I fire from that weapon are going to actually add health to my health bar, so I basically have become invincible. Also, if you come into Deadshot Daiquiri, the way that you're going to deal the most damage is if you click on the Dead First augment here, which deals double critical damage if an enemy is at full health. So the first shot that you take to any enemy is going to be incredibly powerful. Deadhead is also a good one, which basically just increases your critical damage further anyway, but I want to test this out with the Dead First augment. So we are going to go ahead and load up a game of Citadel here, and we're going to go ahead and test out exactly how powerful this weapon can be. What this essentially does is it takes your weapon that you've chosen in your loadout here, and it makes it into a quote-unquote melee weapon, which means that it's going to be benefiting from the melee Macchiato perk, and it's also going to be benefiting from Deadshot and Pack-a-Punch and rarity upgrades and whatever else you put on it. So this is basically making your weapon as powerful as it physically possibly could be. This is basically like a double tap glitch, or double tap, triple tap, quadruple tap. It's making your weapon 4 to 5 to 6 times more powerful than it is at its base level. So as you can see, we've spawned into the game here on Citadel. If we go ahead and hold down our melee key, you see it pulls out that weapon we just had. So holding down the melee key actually just pulled out the Krieg C, which is what we had in our slot there. Now, unfortunately, it does not look like it has any attachments on it, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So as you can see right now, critical hits were dealing 143 damage-ish. So what I did is I stayed there until round 5, just in this starting room, and now I'm going to go ahead and open up a couple of these doors here. I'm going to go ahead and buy melee Macchiato, and we can go ahead and test just how much additional damage our weapon is going to do just by purchasing melee Macchiato. So we've got melee Macchiato here. Let's wait for a zombie to spawn so that we can test what kind of damage we're doing now. Okay, so we're doing about 143 damage per headshot right now. And I'm going to go ahead and buy melee Macchiato. And then immediately we're doing 429 critical damage. So we have almost multiplied our damage by 4 just by buying melee Macchiato. So we're on round 5 with a totally unupgraded weapon, and we're getting one-shot headshots on these zombies. Now I suppose the next step is we really need to get to the Pack-a-Punch room so that we can go ahead and figure out exactly how much additional damage we're going to do once we have Pack-a-Punched. Now I've decided that before I even do that, I'm actually going to come over here and buy this area, because I want to get Deadshot and test out Deadshot before we even put Pack-a-Punch on. So we did go up rarity 1 tick, so we're doing 643 critical damage per shot right now. Still one-shot headshot to the zombies here. That one did 481 for some reason, but we're at approximately 643 critical damage per shot right now to these zombies here. And we're going to go ahead and buy Deadshot and see just how much critical damage we're doing now. So Deadshot. Okay. And now we're up to 1287 critical damage per shot. And we're on round 6 with a green weapon that hasn't been Pack-a-Punched yet. Okay, so now let's get Pack-a-Punch opened up, and then we'll head down into the Pack-a-Punch room and kill the Doppelgas that will spawn, and we'll see exactly what we're doing for damage at that point. Alright, so we're going to open up into the Oubliette room here. Open up this box. 1, 2, 3, and Doppelgas time. And we absolutely shredded it. We'll go ahead and open up the Pack-a-Punch, and now we just need to save up until we can buy it. Okay, so I don't want to understate this. Like, this is doing a ton of damage already as it is. But what we're going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to take this guy out. And that said 575, but we're doing a pretty hefty amount of critical damage. And we'll be able to test that out in 1 second. And then I want to figure out exactly what we're doing for crit damage right now, and then how much we're doing once we buy Pack-a-Punch. So let's wait for some zombies to spawn in here. And here's one, so let's see, that was 1287, 1287. Okay, so we're doing about 1287 on critical damage right now. No Pack-a-Punch. Let's Pack-a-Punch and make sure that we're not going to get smacked. And that is 2754 critical damage. Pack-a-Punch 1, green rarity, on round 11. This is wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, so I suppose really the only thing that we can do from here is just continue to get this thing set up. Now, it's only right now Pack-a-Punch 1, green rarity. We can go ahead and get it up to blue, but we're going to spend some time grinding, getting points, doing what we got to do, get this thing as maxed out as we possibly can, and see just how much damage we can be doing on this thing when it is fully loaded. And I'm pretty excited to see just how that's going to pan out. So at this point, we are just going to head back over to our training spot and just essentially earn up some points and make sure that we can get this thing as upgraded as possible. Obviously, we're going to buy some perks along the way, and we'll give you some regular updates as we're kind of going through the process here, but we have some grinding to do until we can kind of showcase what the true power of this thing looks like. So bear with me a couple minutes here while we do a little bit of grinding, and I will check back in with you momentarily. Okay, so it's round 16. We've got our first Amalgam spawning in here. Let's see how much damage we can do on this guy, see how quickly we can take him out here. Want to avoid getting absolutely smacked by the other zombies, of course. Oh, did not quite manage to escape there. We went into Dying Wish, but that's okay. Let's get ourselves up here. And we're going to need to buy a self-revive now, of course. I feel like these zombies are going crazy right now. take out some of these zombies. At least the horde is easy to thin. Okay, let's hit this nuke and then let's take out the amalgam. Okay, so that was a pretty easy amalgam kill there. Definitely can't complain about that. Could complain that we went down, but I'm going to avoid complaining for the moment. Now, the only problem is I thought I was getting attachments on this. I thought I was going to have my 5 attachments that I made in my build. However, I do not have any attachments. So I don't have my suppressor, so no extra salvage. And I don't have my extended mag, so my magazine is pretty tiny. And I don't have my CHF barrel, so I'm not doing additional headshot damage. So there are some things that are missing from this. If you could figure out how to get attachments on this, you'd be doing a crazy amount of damage. But we are missing a couple of things, and the extended mag is definitely upsetting because it makes it so that we have to reload quite frequently. Now, I did just realize that I have quite a bit of points saved up, so I can go get Pack-a-Punch 2. I didn't realize I'd been sitting on this many points. We do have an amalgam in the game right now, so we're not going to run and do that just yet. We're going to take this guy out, but then we're going to go ahead and grab Pack-a-Punch 2 and see how the damage increases with that. I also just realized that when I went down, I lost melee Macchiato, so we were doing significantly less damage than we could be doing right now if we did have melee Macchiato. So currently we're on our way back to go pick that up, and that should make this a little bit easier on us. I'm stupid. I did have melee Macchiato, and I just am dumb, I guess. I guess the perks that we lost are Vulturade and Quick Revive. Oh, and we lost Deadshot, so we could be doing more damage if we had Deadshot as well. Okay, so there we go. We'll pick Deadshot back up. And that'll give us a little bit of extra critical damage as well. Now, the amalgam is gone, so we're going to head back down to the bottom level here and go ahead and Pack-a-Punch tier 2. And then we can take a look at exactly how much damage we're doing now. Okay, so we just got the zombies kind of hoarded up here. And it looks like we're doing max damage right now around like 7,000 damage per shot. Let's see. That was 4,000, 6,000. It's giving me different numbers every once in a while, but it looks like our max damage right now, if it's the first headshot on a zombie, I guess, it's around 6,000 damage. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to finish off this round if I can find the last zombie. Here he is. I'm going to finish off this last zombie, and I'm going to save and quit out real quick because I'm going to change the augment that I have on Deadshot. So the augment that I'm using on Deadshot right now is Dead First, which basically the very first time that you hit a zombie in the head with a critical, it will do double critical damage. However, that's only useful if it's the first shot that you get on a zombie. So if you miss and hit the body with the first shot and then hit the head with the second shot or whatever, you don't necessarily get the full damage every time. So I'm just going to go ahead and come back to Deadshot and go to Deadhead, which is going to theoretically mean that I'll just get that increased damage every time. Okay, so interesting news here. My suggestion is that if you're going to do this, do not save and quit, because now anytime I push my dedicated melee button, I just get a punch. I do not have a melee weapon, it does not seem. So I have lost my special melee weapon here and no longer have access to that weapon, which means that we need to basically restart here. So I'm going to go into Terminus, and we're going to make a weapon that we can test on the Terminus boss fight using this same method here. So the weapon that we're going to bring in this time is the GS45. I have a feeling that this thing is going to be pretty crazy. And I just realized that you can go right into the gunsmith and change the attachments. So even if it doesn't have attachments when you put that duplicate in there, I think you can still change the attachments and get the attachments that you want on it. We'll see, of course, when we load into the game, but we're going to go ahead and load up into Terminus here, and we'll go ahead and give it a shot. So I did actually accidentally load up into a directed mode game here, but to be honest, we're just going to go for it. It's going to be fine. and it looks like we do not get any attachments on it. So this is not akimbo. Again, no suppressor, no anything, but we're going to just do this on directed mode because that's the button that we happen to click on, and we'll see how it goes. And I will say, when you first spawn in, you also get like no ammo, so you're gonna have to buy ammo like right away, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I did go ahead and pop a perkaholic, so we have all the perks that we could possibly ever want, and we are doing 1,191 critical damage right out of the gate, and 624 damage to the body, so already doing a ton of damage, and we've barely even started. Now we've got a wonder bar here, hoping to skip a step here and hopefully get the beam smasher out of the mystery box. I've only actually ever gotten the beam smasher out of the box one time, so no luck there. Got the ray gun again, but that's okay. Like I said, we are on directed mode here, so building the wonder weapon is going to be quite easy. I don't have any inkling that this is going to be in any way, shape, or form a difficult process, so all we got to do is get the map opened up, build the wonder weapon, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so we've gotten everything pretty much opened up here. Gonna go ahead and throw dead wire on this so that we can open up the wonder weapon room and sort of progress to the next step in the Easter egg. Now we are still getting one-shot kills to the body, and we are still on round 7, so round 7 one-shot kills to the body still with a pistol. Alright, so just run out of ammo, but luckily we do have enough on us to pack-a-punch right now, so we're going to go ahead and head over to the pack-a-punch machine and see how much damage this thing is going to do now. So, I don't know, I think that says 8,000. 8,000, yeah, so we're doing 8k damage. Let's see if we could get a critical kill with this thing. It's a little difficult to get critical kills with it now that it's an explosive, but yeah, like 9,000 critical. This thing's gonna be crazy during the boss fight. Okay, so we just ran around and collected all of the little codes that we need to have for Nathan. We're gonna go ahead and basically just jump straight into the Nathan fight here and see how this thing holds up against Nathan. We're at Pack-a-Punch 2 and Legendary Rarity at the moment. So let's go ahead and say hello to Nathan. Okay, so I believe our code is 868. Unlocked. Let's go ahead and turn the valve and jump right into this. I'm actually pretty excited to see how this does against Nathan right now. I think it's going to be pretty crazy. I think we're going to end up taking him out pretty quick here. Nathan, round 13 with this crazy weapon. Let's reload. Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, doing pretty decent damage. I think we do more damage, obviously, with the akimbo version of this weapon, but this is pretty quick for a Nathan fight here. He's almost down. And there we go. There's Nathan. Okay, so just hacking the last terminal here, and then we're on to what I think, aside from the boss fight, is probably the most challenging step of the Easter egg. It's not particularly difficult. It's just more tedious than anything, having to defuse the bombs. And I'm going to show you my method for doing that, because I've seen a lot of people do it, and I haven't seen a lot of people do it the way that I do it. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it, and I mean, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but I just haven't seen a lot of people do it in the way that I do it, and I want to show it to you. So we're going to head down into the lab here. And your progress on these saves pretty good. So if you wait for the first one to open up, fuse it as much as you can before you start getting overwhelmed, and then move on to the next one, and then just come back to it. The progress saves pretty well, so you can actually get a decent amount of progress done on these, just, you know, like step by step, kind of incrementally like this. So I just diffused one, maybe like a quarter of the way, and move on to the next one. I'm gonna get, I guess, maybe halfway. I mean, you know what? We might as well get all of the way here. Ooh, going to use a Dying Wish there, but that's okay. And you can see it saved our progress on this one, so we're going to get it most of the rest of the way here, and then just dash off. Nice one-hit kill on the Mangler there. Come up to the second story one, and then we'll jump on this one, get as much of it done as we can. Making good progress. I think these must go faster during directed mode, because it seems like it's going so quick right now. Okay, that one's done. And then we'll head back down and finish the last one here. And done. Ooh, and we just got ate by an Amalgam. Okay, so that means that the next thing that we can do is go right into the boss fight, pretty much. We're not going to jump in just yet. I do want to get Pack-a-Punch tier 3 on this, so we are going to grind up some points just a little bit, and then we'll jump into the boss fight and see how that goes. Okay, so I'm just chilling here in the proverbial camo grinding room here. I am waiting to hit 30k points so that I can get Pack-a-Punch 3. And as soon as I hit tier 3, I'm going directly into the boss fight. So I'm not doing any more setup whatsoever. I'm just going to hit 30k, grab the Pack-a-Punch, and then go straight into the boss fight. So we just hit 30k. Now we need to go ahead and grab Pack-a-Punch. I'm going to call it up here. And once it gets up here, we're basically just going to buy it and then Pack-a-Punch immediately. Okay, so we Pack-a-Punched, and now we're literally jumping straight into the boss fight. Let's go. Okay, Patient 13, here we go. Directed mode, so it's probably going to be a little bit easier. We're only doing like 1200 damage, almost a little more than 1100 damage, which does not seem like a lot. Yeah, I'm having a few regrets because the GS45 was doing honestly great damage until the boss fight. I mean, I feel like it's not doing anything right now. It didn't do much against Nathan either, but this is just not very good. And we don't even have enough points to buy ammo. So I guess we'll use our unpack-a-punched ray gun here. Give us at least enough to buy some ammo. And now is the first time that I'm really starting to notice without rapid fire, our rate of fire is quite slow as well. Okay, so we just went down. I mean, our guns aren't really doing anything, to be completely honest with you. Like, it feels like this is way weaker than it should be. Alright, so a rather disappointing conclusion to a lengthy video here. We did go down in the directed mode Terminus boss fight, but I'm going to blame it on the fact that the fire rate is super slow, and there must have been somewhere along the line that I missed a giant nerf to the explosive weapons on the Terminus boss fight, because I swear this thing was doing no damage to regular zombies. Just within the rounds, I was doing 15, 20, 30,000 experience, or 30,000 damage rather, and to Patient 13 I'm doing 1200 damage. That seems like nothing. That being said though, y'all, at least if you're not going to try to do a boss fight, this was a pretty fun experience, being able to play with these weapons that are super overpowered. I might play around with this a little bit more, try some different guns in different scenarios, but definitely not meant for the boss fight. Make sure that you guys go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by January 20th, so make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're getting pretty close, but we do have a ways to go. If you have any suggestions for zombies content that you'd like to see here on the channel, make sure that you go ahead and drop that down in the comment section, and we will see you very soon in the next video.